Welcome back to this Halloween episode of KRAM, where taking the anchor job seems to invite a horrible death. I'm Alex Blackwater.
And I'm Zoe Bars. KRAM will continue to bring you the news despite the possibility of anchor death at the end of each segment.
We'd like to remind everyone of the trunk or treat this Friday from 4 to 5 in the pool parking lot with the drive-in showing of Scream 3 afterwards.
During the trunk or treat, the GSA and No Place for Hate clubs have a pumpkin decorating contest. You bring the pumpkin and they have supplies and the prizes.
As you might have noticed, we had our first snow day under the new district snow day policy last Monday.
The reception from students, staff, and parents was mixed. Let's see how we feel as a community about this recent change.
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
That huge thumping noise.
Well, at least I'm still alive.
Due to e-learning, school has changed drastically for both students and staff. One of these changes being the traditional snow day. There is now a new policy in place.
Obviously, you guys have realized by now that there's been some changes to our snow day schedule. And essentially our snow days are now e-learning days that start at 9:45 and end at 2:45 with the scheduled classes that day taking place from home. So late starts and snow days are essentially the same, and they will count for minutes so that hopefully we get out of school on time if we're looking for a silver lining on this change to snow days and late starts.
Students, staff, and parents have differing opinions of the new policy.
Personally, I felt like it was good. Even though I was disappointed, I still think that it's a good way to figure out a way to still teach the student because, well, we still need to learn and stuff. So I think it was a good change on the policy, even though we might all be a little disappointed because I met teachers that are also disappointed with this, but I still think it's good for our education.
I understand the logistics that we need to be mindful of hours. This will mean that we don't have to worry about going into June or adding 10 minutes to the day or any of those things as the school year progresses. So I understand from an administrative standpoint why that's a valuable change. I don't necessarily know the district considered the fact that many of their high school and middle school teachers have kids at home during the day, and that doesn't make necessarily for the, easiest transition between things.
I think it makes a lot of sense going to school online instead of having a day off for a snow day. It makes sense. That's what distance learning is good for. Do you lose out on a tradition of getting a missed day of school that was unexpected? Yes, but I would prefer you get an education more than goof off.
In the past, snow days were a free day for both students and staff.
Well, in previous years, I just used to relax. I didn't need to worry about school since we weren't in school at the time, so we could just put the worries aside and the homework for tomorrow, for the next day. And I used to watch movies and read books and spend time with my family, but now we can't do that since e-learning, and now it's different. We don't have snow days anymore.
I would assume most people do just hanging out and kind of taking a day to recoup and relax and, spend time with the dog and, get in the snow and shovel and hang out. But I think the biggest thing for me as a student and as a teacher has always been just to take a day to kind of relax. It's always an unexpected and kind of a surprise blessing, I guess, that we get to have this, a day that's not planned. We don't make plans ahead of time. We don't kind of schedule anything to fill our day, and so it's a nice day to just kind of relax and hang out and kind of recoup.
In light of the new policy, snow days will be handled much differently.
Well, I think we're still going to be waking up. As of right now, of course, there's a 2-hour delay, so it's nice to have a little bit more sleep, but I think we're still going to be learning, and there's still going to be classes going on. So that's kind of disappointing because I always liked just waking up and seeing snow and just not doing any schoolwork or not going to school.
Now we will be still sleeping in, which is a nice bonus, but my kids will kind of have to hang out by themselves while I teach online classes.
This has been Zoe Bars, signing off.
As we continue the year, stay tuned for changes like the snow day policy, as we are in the ever-changing world thanks to COVID.
With so few sports going on right now, KRAM decided to take a look at a sport that we constantly see but might not recognize in the way it deserves.
The cheer squad is one of the hardest working teams at RHS. We caught up with them at the last week's football game. Hell yeah! Oh, Oh, well, at least I made it.
Last Saturday at the game at Gary Berry Stadium, the cheerleaders played an important role in boosting our RAM spirit. Noticing this, the teams at KRAM wanted to learn more about the cheer squad and how they adapted to this new environment. What does it take to be a cheerleader in this age?
To be in cheer, you have to have positivity and school spirit and being friendly and kind. Cheerleading is about representing our school at different events, so it's important for us to be cheerful and positive.
I think generally speaking, just to be a cheerleader, you really need to have the motivation and drive. And we do a lot of things that other sports do also. We've got warm-ups, we've got conditioning, but on top of that we do stunting, and so it's a different element because we're putting other people up in the air.
The things that create positivity and cheer are friends and family and athletic players. So if the player gets hurt, it's up to us to hype up the crowd to make sure they're okay and create positivity. And also as friends, we want to make sure everyone's staying positive and happy.
This year it's going to be interesting with COVID, that's for sure. Our games are done a lot differently now. Like, we have a lot more regulations and we have to be like a certain number of feet away from the crowd, which is very interesting.
So far, COVID has affected us in a great amount because we have to be socially distanced and we can't be as close as we normally are. And with we have new cheerleaders coming in as well, and we can't get to know them as well as we could have last year or the year before. As the year goes on, we hope things may or may not get better and hope to get closer.
I tell everybody I've got the best group of girls on the planet. They make my life so easy. They're so sweet. They're so compassionate. They get along so well with each other. And just being able to watch them grow and watch them change and watch them get better in things that they might have struggled with in the past, that's my favorite part of the whole season.
If you want them to go, you gotta let them know you'll get out. Let's go where our nation. So big blue. If you want them to go, you gotta let them know you'll get out. Let's go where our nation. So big blue. If you want them to go, you gotta let them know you'll get out. Let's go where our nation. So big blue. Stand here.
Good luck with the rest of the cheer season. You can see them perform at the next home football game on November 5th as our Rams take on Fountain Fort Carson at 6 p.m.
Many of the hybrid learners at Rampart might have noticed their in-person class numbers are getting smaller.
Many of our students are going fully synchronous for a variety of reasons.
For some, it helps avoid any chance of quarantine with athletics. For others, it's just a preference to work from home.
KRAM decided to examine this trend and what it might mean for the Rampart community.
I hear rumbling.
Hey, I survived.
Amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, schools face the decision of whether to continue school in person or to switch to online. Rampart has 3 options available: hybrid, accelerate online, and synchronous. Throughout the fall semester, Rampart has seen an uptick with students choosing to do synchronous learning.
Synchronous learning is when students will be at home attending classes and they will be going to their classes the same time they would if they were in the school. So they're logging in to their computers, sitting at home or another location, and attending class virtually with the teacher at the same time.
I chose synchronous so that I could balance school and swim, and it's safer at home as well.
One thing I really enjoy is being able to be in my room where I can control like the temperature and all that kind of stuff. Because one thing I used to have a lot of issues with was how cold some classrooms would be in the tech wing. It was kind of a pain.
It's amazing not having to wear a mask all day.
Staying at home with synchronous can limit the exposure of the virus for the students, which makes them feel safer from COVID-19.
I chose synchronous because I'm asthmatic and it puts me in the high risk category for COVID-19.
I'm not exposing myself or my family to the virus at school, and I can still go to swim and not expose my team to it.
I mean, I know that since I'm not coming into contact with anybody, there's not really any chance of me getting it, so.
Because the online format is so new, students have had to overcome some difficulties adjusting to the new learning style.
In person, it's a lot more one-on-one, a lot more personal, while when you're on synchronous, it's a lot more like you're just getting lectured to. So it's definitely a different kind of feeling.
It's harder to grasp some concepts, and for different classes too. For some classes it's a little easier, but others are a little more difficult. But it's all a challenge, and we all have to adjust to it.
School is definitely harder with online format because I don't have the direct contact with my teachers.
Many students choose to take synchronous, not only to feel safer, but also because it frees up their schedule.
I'm able to go to swim practice at night, and I actually don't have too much homework, so that's nice. I've been able to balance my schedule out a lot better.
It's actually easier being in synchronous because I'm at home, so as soon as school's over, I can go do my chores.
Although the future of online learning is uncertain, Rampart will likely give students a synchronous learning option as long as COVID-19 is a threat.
I think that for this school year, until there's a vaccine for COVID that's widely available and widely distributed, I think we're going to continue to have options where students could be fully online on their own time, fully online synchronously, and some options for them to be in the building.
We hope that everyone is able to safely adjust to their new normal for school this year. This has been Elia Bono, reporting for KRAM.
Well, that about wraps it up for our Halloween episode, Rams.
We hope you appreciate how much the anchors sacrificed to bring you this week's KRAM.
This is Ricky Maldonado.
And I'm Colton Osborne.
Have a great week and a happy Halloween. Well...